So getting too many leads for your business can actually be disadvantageous. And I want to use an anecdote just from actually a couple of my clients right now who are kind of going through this process. So we started their campaign, and this was essentially the first time that they've ever done any type of online advertising that was profitable from the get-go. When we launched their first campaign, the first handful of leads start to trickle in, and they got excited because maybe in the past they had tried something and it took at least a week or two for them to get any type of bites. So those first couple leads that come in is usually when they're the most excited, right? They say, "Oh, this is awesome! Like let's do this. Let's crush it. Let's get some new business today." Not surprisingly, they'll often respond to these leads inquiries really quick. They'll follow up with them multiple times. They'll reach out with conviction, that kind of thing. Usually the landscape looks very good and they have a pretty good conversion percentage for these leads. Now here's the thing. This continues for a little bit, but then as more and more leads start to trickle in, that honeymoon phase, is how I like to call it, starts to disappear. Because they start booking jobs, they start to feel good and everything, and then usually the campaign will still perform well, but it gets to a point to where from them having to deal with 5 leads at first, suddenly it gets to be 10 leads on their plate. Then it's 20 leads, then it's 50 leads. And this is the thing with online advertising, is it's much more scalable than traditional means that you may have gotten your business prior, like referrals or even networking and door knocking, whatever. Now you have a system that the more money you put into it, the more you can get back. And sometimes this becomes to be too much. So what I've seen is that when people get to this position, if they're basically running the show themselves, meaning if they're doing all of the appointment scheduling, the appointment booking, the customer service, and sometimes even the cleaning themselves and being the manager and just everything as the business owner, it can get overwhelming very quickly when you have 15 people that you have to get back to, and then you start to see more and more leads come in. And not only is it overwhelming mentally, but you're actually doing yourself a disservice for your business, because those previous leads that have essentially raised their hand and said, "Yes, I'm interested," well, now what happens? Now instead of getting back to them in a couple minutes, now it might be a couple hours or a couple days or a couple weeks. And the next thing you know, you have a stack of people in your pipeline of people, again, that are interested in your service, but they haven't been followed up with in weeks. And you're essentially burning through your money. Because think about the money, your hard-earned money that you're spending to acquire these leads and clients. If you're not managing it in a system and making sure that everyone gets equal opportunity of having the advantage to use your service because you guys have such a wonderful cleaning service, well, you're really just burning through your budget. And then what happens? Then customer service starts to lack. Then these people start to get a bad taste in their mouth. They start to leave you some, negative reviews. They start to tell their friends to avoid your company. And you've essentially made something that works very well for your business start to work against you. So the moral of this is basically to keep in mind with this, it's not something you should be scared of. It's just something that you should be prepared of, especially if you're going to be dealing with a large volume of new business coming in through your paid traffic. And oftentimes, one of the very first things that I suggest to my clients as soon as we get their campaigns going is I say, look, how much free time do you realistically have through the day? How quickly, how promptly can you get back to these leads? How diligent are you going to be about following up with them? And what we'll often find is that the answer they give on day 1 isn't the same answer that they give on day 60 or day 90. And that's when it makes sense to, move a little bit more into having an outsourcing role for the appointment scheduling and the appointment booking and contacting the leads and all of that fun stuff. That's a topic for another video, but I just want you guys to know this. If your goal is just to get, 300 leads per month, that's really not beneficial in concept. You want to be thinking about this long term and realizing that the back end is just as important as the front end, and it is possible to grow too quickly and burn through your money. So anyways, hopefully that helped. We'll stay in touch. Let me know if you have any questions and be sure to subscribe.